Hello and welcome to hobby vlog number 209. Now this week I've been working on several projects and I've also started a new YouTube channel which I will link up here, which is called An Average Painter. It's just basically pulling together all of my time-lapse videos that I do for painting, which I've done a few over the years, and I'm going to start doing more and more now because I'm really enjoying my painting, and I thought I'd not put them onto this channel and I would put them onto a new one. So go and jump over there, give it a subscribe, give them a watch and let people know about it if you can, but it's fine if not. It's just for my fun really more than anything. So thank you very much for watching, I really appreciate it. Do leave a comment below if you want to, but otherwise just enjoy the video and I'll see you again at the end. So here we are, and I've had a quick look, and this is going to be a very exciting session, and you are rather excited, aren't you, Roo? Yeah, I've told her to calm down, and for once she's listened to me, so. You're not listening to me. Cat got your tongue? Right, so let's get to it. This is probably not going to be that short a session because there's a fair amount to get through. So we'll report back at the end, depending on what's happening. You are excited, aren't you, Rosie?
I'm hungry.
Are you hungry? You can't be hungry. Right, let's get to it. Let's do it.
Always hungry.
Well, that was a lot of fun. Not as long as I expected or feared, but that's good because we've got lots of things to do. So, Rosie, what happened?
I destroyed the troll.
You distracted a troll, yeah. So we caught up with Myrtle, and there was a rock troll, and there was a ranger who had been wounded, wasn't there? Mm-hmm. And Rosie rolled a very, very good stealth roll and came up with a plan. Rosie came up with a plan, didn't you? So we distracted the troll, and Rosie snuck around to where Myrtle was trapped and helped her to escape while we rolled very, very good riddle rolls, and Bilbo scraped one and said, "Rock troll, why don't you eat me?" "Oh, no, not me, them." "Oh, no, what?" And that confused the troll long enough that the sun started coming up and he ran away, didn't he?
Yeah.
And what happened then? Do you remember?
Yeah, he's turned into stone.
He didn't turn into stone, he ran away, he disappeared. But what happened then was, we went back and the man, the ranger, revealed himself to be Halberad.
Can I see what happened?
You can have a look at that, yes. So yeah, he revealed himself to be Halberad, and he gave us Bullroarer Took's club. I know, it's good, isn't it?
What is that red thing?
It's his under armpit hair. Anyway, so yeah, so he revealed himself to be called Halberad. He had been protecting the club, Bullroarer's club, and he gave it to Bilbo for safekeeping. And we've headed back, and we went past Oak Barton, had a really nice meal. Do you remember what you ate at your meal, Roo?
The same as you.
Sausage and chips and honeyed ham. What did you have? You had
Leg of lamb.
leg of lamb with spuds. It was a very nice meal, lots of beer. And then we headed back to Bag End. And waiting for us at Bag End was none other than Barlin, son of Fundin, the dwarf, wasn't there? So that is what's going to happen in the next campaign. So that's the end of that one. The next one is called Most Excellent Fireworks. So next week, hopefully, if there's not too much snow here in real life, we'll have a guest player. So really hoping that Steve makes it. But otherwise, that was really fun. Really enjoyed that. And Rosie, that was superb role playing. So well done. Big high five. Sit forwards.
Lizzie loves it.
There it is. What did you say to the camera?
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Let's get the food done.
I just cut a load more of these, and I was wondering why they were feeling funny. And I've realised that I've got some sellotape on the back. So some of them are fully sellotaped. So whether I throw the ones that are fully sellotaped away, I'm not sure. But they're not going to stick. So I'm going to need to do something. I either manage to peel the sellotape off or just get rid of them, because yeah, I didn't realise. I'm really annoyed because I could have easily taken the sellotape off if I'd realised it was there. And I don't actually even know if... No, so if I slice more on this sheet now, there's no sellotape on it, so that's good. So what I might have to do is go through, and any that are just half sellotaped, I can probably quite easily peel the sellotape off. But I think there's going to be quite a large percentage of this batch that I just cut that aren't going to really stick. So that's annoying. But hey, it's my own fault. I didn't check, I didn't think. I was wondering why it was feeling a bit different, and that's why. So I'm going to get on with that now. And then when I've got, when I've sorted them through, I'll stick them down like I did before, but I won't run the time lapse because it's basically the same. And yeah, we'll keep going, see how far we get. It was much quicker than I expected to stick the last batch down, so hopefully it'll be quick to stick this batch as well. But yeah, that's not going to speed this process up any. So it's basically a third of them I've lost. All of those going to be binned. And I've managed to save all these, peeled off the sellotape on half of the remaining ones. That's a waste of time and material, a bit annoying, but hey, live and learn. I will now, every time I check before I cut, I will remember to check for sellotape. So this actually dried days ago, and I've been busy and haven't got back to it. So what I'm now going to do, because it is a little bit, there is a little bit of it moving around, I'm just going to come along, like I said, and apply another coat of PVA over the top, which will seal all of that grass in place so it won't fall off. And also when I come and do my next step, which is going to be taller, longer grasses, I don't disturb them. So yeah, it's getting cold here, snowed a bit today, so if I don't light my fire, this might take quite a bit of drying. So yeah, I'll leave this to get this all done, and then leave it to dry, and I'll bring you back for the next step, which will be, as I say, when this is dried. Well, I just about declared this done, and then I realised, no, it's not done, because what I want to do is snip off some of these little tabs, just to make it a bit easier to put the layers on and take the layers off. So what I'm thinking about doing is initially cutting off every other one, like this, just using a pair of side cutters, and see how that goes. And if that is enough, then I'll leave it at that. And if I need to cut more off, I will. But I just don't want it to be a fight, and it's been a bit of a fight getting these on and off. So let's see whether that's going to be sufficient. So just to demonstrate, this one I forced on, and it is, actually it wasn't too bad taking it off. That's because it wasn't fully on, because it was too difficult to put on. So this one lines up nicely there, and let's see, still a bit difficult, but it's certainly easier than it was. So yeah, so I'm going to take half off all the way around and see how that goes, and then hopefully that will be this project done. Well, the theme of this video is scrap, and up here in the messy part of my attic you can see I've got a big pile here of some new and a lot of scrap XPS. So I think this is the stuff that I want to use to make the walls. It's very, very strong, and we've had quite a lot of it delivered recently in various packages. I'm sure I've got more of this. I need to go looking. I think it might still be in the box that it came in somewhere. Hope it hasn't been thrown away. So yeah, I'm going to make use of this to make the bricks, which are going to use to build up those walls. So yeah, that is the meaning of having a recycling pile. Now I've got the frame done, I need to do the legs. And I think the height I'm going to do them is basically the height of these doors. So I'm going to need to measure them, which is going to be very hard with only one hand. But I'm going to measure the height of the doors, and that is the height that I'm going to sit this at this stage. So I want to get this done as soon as possible, so I'm going to get that measured. And then I'll probably do 6 legs on the frame I've built. So put them roughly where they turn the corners. And that will give you a little bit more stability when I'm looking to screw them in. Yeah, that should work quite nicely. And then wheels on the bottom. And I'll have the men help me lift the model railway across and onto the top of the frame, and then it will be a case of screwing it on. Now, one of the things that will be done once I've done this is I'll put a backdrop on it at that end, and that will be really, really nice to do. And also it'd be nice to improve the wiring slightly, but that's a bigger job which might involve lifting some track, and that's one of the reasons why you'll see as I'm filming this, the the station hasn't progressed at all, and that's because I'm thinking if I'm going to start lifting track, then there's no point in me doing more or even that little final bit of scenicking, because it might be that it comes out and I have to redo it. So yeah, I should probably have done the wiring properly when I first did it, but hey, we are where we are. Let's get these legs done. I'll get them measured and cut, and Rosie will definitely be involved in that again, and I'll show you what it looks like. Yeah, I'll show you what they look like when we get into it. I'll show you what the height is, tell you what the measurements are when we're starting to cut the wood. Well, the height of the doors, so the double of the doors from the floor is 710mm, and here is one of the wheels, and they're basically 70mm. So 710 minus 70 is going to be 640. So I need to do 640mm long legs. I can attach that to the bottom of each one, and then they will screw in. Now I'm not subtracting the depth of the actual frame, because these are going to go up through the frame and get bolted on the inside. Now it may not be the best way to do it, but it's the way I'm doing it. So yes, I'm not trying to butt them up on bottom and sitting the frame on top. The frame will have its angle like this, and they will come up here and be screwed in from the side. So that's just how I'm going to do it. So yeah, I will get that measured up and bring you along for the cutting, and I'll probably do that when Rosie gets home, because I really want her to be involved. And thanks for the comment. Who was it? Give me 1 second. Yeah, thanks for the comment, Lek Dog, on the last vlog. Much appreciated. You're absolutely correct. So today I went to the shop and I bought me and her some new, not matching but nearly matching, safety glasses, and I'm going to let her pick which one she wants, and I hope that she picks these ones because they're adjustable, and then maybe she'll be a little bit less worried about her eyes like she was when we were doing the drilling. That was a really cool suggestion in the comments, so thank you very much, and I have acted upon that. It's come time. We're about to put the Christmas tree up, and so I need to finish my additions for the for the railway, and that includes and involves this little tree. So I'm not going to do much of this on camera because it's going to be super fiddly, and yeah, I'll probably sit down in a slightly better lit area, but when I have all of my lights on and it's well lit, it doesn't really film very well. But anyway, so what we're going to do is a little dip of super glue on the top, and we're going to drop it. This is what it's like working with me. Drop it and put the super glue on the bench. Oh well, never mind. So put a little dip of super glue on the end and not drop it this time. There we are. And then come along and stick it in to the tree. And it doesn't work. Right, I'm going to get a few of these done not on camera, and then I'll come back and show you, tell you what worked, because that didn't work. So I'm going to have to look at it with better light and not worrying about the camera views. So it turns out a good stable base, a little bit better light, and that was actually relatively easy. It was just that I wasn't in the best of positions. So I've got them all glued on now. Didn't bother filming because I really needed to be able to move it around and go in odd angles. So what we're going to do now is go through and get this put onto the railway, along with the, let's bring them over, just here, along with the presents that I made a little while ago. So yeah, and I also actually have another thing that's going to go on. It's going to be a nice little vignette, nice little scene. And these people carrying trees, carrying Christmas trees, I'm going to have them walking around near the presents and the tree. So let's go through to the lounge. We've already brought the railway down to be put by the tree. Go through to the lounge and get these put in place. So here is the layout, and if you've not seen it before, there are 2 videos already on my channel, which I will attempt to remember to link. But yeah, so over here we have some people sliding on snow and having some fun, and there's a snowman. And what I'm thinking of doing, because it sits as you see it, so this is the front, this is the bit you can see the most, the tree goes in the middle, and the back part you can't really see very much at all. So what I'm thinking of doing is taking this tree and setting it down somewhere over here towards the very front of where the layout sits, putting a load of the presents all around it, and then having these people coming along the side of the railway towards the tree, and then I'm not sure what I'll do with these other 2 trees. I might just leave them in the packet and use them for something else. So that's the plan at the moment. So what I'll do firstly is a bit of super glue on the bottom of the tree and get that stuck in place. So let's do that. This super glue might be running out. No, there is some, good. So get that in there, and I'm going to set that down kind of in here so there's a bit of support for it, and I'm probably going to have to hold it for a bit to make sure it sticks. So what I'll do is I'll come back when that's stuck and show you how we're going to put these presents in and the people. Well, I managed to get it to stick by using my gel glue and some super glue activator. So now what I'm doing is starting to drop these presents in. So a dab of super glue and then drop the present on, and we'll find out whether this is working after we've done a few. So again, I'm going to crack on with this, turn the camera off, you don't need to see all of this, and I will show what it looks like when I've got them all in place. But so far I think this is actually working, so that's good. I do just need to make sure that when I'm putting them down, I'm putting them down with the bow on the top, so otherwise they don't look all that enticing the other way around. So we are. Right, I'll get this done and I'll bring you back in a few minutes. Oh, drop the one and it's got out of hand. There we are, that wants to go there. Ha. Yeah, I'll bring you back when I've done this, hopefully in just a few minutes in real time and a few seconds in your time. Well, super glue activator was my friend there again, so I'm really pleased that I have that. But that's now done and they're all pretty well secured in place. So what we're going to do now, like I say, we're going to have a group of people running from this direction. If I can get it to go in shot okay. Yep, there we are. Might just zoom out a little bit more. So we're going to have them coming along this direction, running along by the tracks. So we'll get into this box and get these miniatures out, and then yeah, get them glued in place. Almost certainly require super glue activator again. And then the adjustments for the layout for this year will be done. I do need to clean the tracks, which I will get done, and I believe that Angela said she wants to put the tree up possibly tomorrow. So yeah, we're perfectly in time to get this done. So all of the miniatures are just falling out all over the place as I was opening it, including one that's gone I don't know where. So let me get that, find that. There he is, there he is, there he is. So yeah, we're going to start to stick these little people coming along through the snow, going towards the Christmas tree. So I'll get those stuck in place and show what it looks like when it's done. And done. So we've got the dude carrying the tree here. We've got a guy stopped here. We've got a mummy and daughter and child here, and we've got the kid who's run ahead and reached the presents. So that's a really, really nice little vignette, and I really hope Rosie likes it, and I hope that it survives the year. It should do. Just to be careful when we put our baubles up that we don't knock them. But yeah, that's pretty cool. So just so you can see what the kit is that I'm using, it's actually from Noch, and it's their Christbaumverkauf, whatever. Sorry, my German's terrible. Number 15927, and that's the pack that I've put on there. So yeah, get the tree up, get the train running, show what it looks like. Right, there we are. So look, me and Rosie, we're wearing our new safety goggles. You like them, don't you? You love them. We've written our name on them so we know whose is whose, and it's going to keep you from getting any dust in your eyes. And thank you again to Leckdog. It was my friend Leckdog on the channel who made a comment and said you should get her some glasses, and so I did. So what we've done is over here you can see I've got a straight edge which is clamped in place. It's a little bit of a limitation of how I've now laid out this workshop, but it's not too bad because I do have a very long straight edge, and I've marked that at the length I want, which is, just to double check, can you see that's a 6 and a 4? So that's 64 centimetres, 640 mil. So that's the length I want of the legs. I've had to use some of my big wood, unfortunately, but hey, what are you going to do? So we're going to turn the main power on now. I've got a master cut-off switch. So that means we've got power now to this machine. And you don't need to touch this, but just watch what's happening. You don't need to worry about dust anymore because you've got your awesome glasses on. I'm going to need to cut 6 of these. So it's going to be, I think I'm going to need 2 beams, which is a lot of money. This isn't a cheap build, love. So let's just make sure I'm dead on. And there we have it. So now, because I've got my straight edge there, was that very loud? Sorry, okay, shall I let you know when it's about to go?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, darling. Right, you ready? It's going to go again now, it's going to be loud. 1, 2, 3. There we are. That's a very good idea. And now you can see that we can just get... Not that.
Is it going on now?
It's going to, I'll count it on, okay? 1, 2, 3. Sorry, get it wrong. 1, 2, 3. It's got a very pungent smell, hasn't it? So now what we've got is we have 3 legs, and I'm going to need to cut 3 more. So I'll do that, and then we'll get them mounted on our frame, and then we can put the wheels on, and then we're done. Is there a high five? Do you like your glasses?
Uh-huh.
Good girl. Right, so we'll get the other 3 cut.
That's very sharp. That would kill me.
It's very sharp. Yeah, we've got the just out of shot the jigsaw. So yeah, we'll get that done, and we'll bring it back when we're about to do the wheels.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got all the legs cut, and Rosie has got her safety glasses on. So you're going to help me do the drilling, are you? Right, so what we're going to do is...
No, actually, because it's too loud.
Okay, well maybe we should look for some ear defenders for you next time. We'll get some ear defenders for you.
Okay.
So we're going to drill 2 holes, 1 here and 1 here. We're just going to do a diagonal pattern, and that's going to hold it straight.
It's not too.
It's not too loud. Can you push? Do you reckon you can push it in? Ready? Let's do it. It's not too loud. You can look. You've got glasses on, love. That's why we've got you the glasses. There we are. So it's not too loud at all. And you can keep looking because you've got your glasses. There we are. So we've done that. So
I will brush it.
well done, good girl. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to do the countersinking, and then we're going to put the screws in. Countersinking. Yeah, should we do that now? So we're going to. The countersink is the one that is a little bit loud. So the countersink means that the screw heads go into the wood, and they don't stand proud, so it makes it a little bit neater. So and it takes a lot of pressure. You don't need to look away, Rosie. You've got glasses on. You don't need to look away. Remember? But that's why you've got glasses, so you don't have to. There we are. So that's our countersinking, and then what we're going to do...
My eyes are stinging.
Your eyes are stinging? How come your eyes are stinging, love?
Somebody hit me in the eyes today.
Oh, that wasn't very good. Did you hit them back?
Yeah.
Good. Don't let them hit you. Right, so...
I just hit them right here.
Well, it'd be better if there was no fighting at your school, but I suppose it does happen. Right, so we're going to use more of these 8cm screws. You going to help?
Oh, yes, of course.
So we're going to put these in. You going to help push? This isn't loud now. There's one.
Thanks.
And we'll push the other one in. Do the other one. Ready? 3, 2, 1, go. There we are. And that's our first leg. So we will repeat that all the way around and get 6 legs done. And I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. And then the next thing we'll be doing to put the wheels on. And then it's finished. Maybe we should paint this as well. Do you want to maybe paint this as well?
Yes, please.
Maybe. Well, maybe we paint it as well.
I don't think so. No.
No? Okay. Right, we'll bring you back when we get to the next step.
It's up to me if I changed my mind. I did.
Well, of course, this is your model railway, love. Yeah. Good girl.
Why up to me?
Pardon?
It's not up to me.
It is up to you. Yes, it's your model railway. Well, 2 painting sessions, and yeah, I've got 6 of these done to a base coat. So they just need the highlight, the wash, and then potentially a highlight. Really enjoying painting these up. They are just such nice miniatures to paint. So the only 2 I've got left is the Chico Kid and the Cocky Young Gunslinger. That's what these 2 are. So I'll get those done the next time I sit down to paint, which might be tomorrow evening, I hope. And then I'll have all of these done, ready for washes and highlights, and then basing. Pretty cool, pretty cool. I'll have to pick some more to paint from Wargames Foundry then. Well, I've pretty much completed the basic floor tiling of this. And what I now think I want to do is get the walls, or the kind of like small sub walls, built up all over it before I do the offcuts and what have you that I'm going to have to slide in, just so that I can get everything completely accurate. So if I pan the camera over to my workbench, what you can see here is I've got one of these sheets, and I'm just squaring it off at the moment. So I'm just using a 90-degree angle. I've determined that this is the side that I want to use to make it completely square, that being totally and utterly square to itself. So what I can do is use this. It's not a safety one, but as long as I'm careful I should be alright. And what I'm going to do is shave that little bit off the top. This is one of the problems with using scrap pieces, is you aren't always working with perfectly true materials. And then I should be able to prove that is 90 degrees. Yep. So I can come along the bottom. And once I've squared this all off, I will then cut some blocks out and start sticking them down. Simple as that. So the first blocks I'm going to cut are going to be 3.5 by 3, and they will do quite a lot of the walls actually. And once I'll be probably cut one row, stick them down, another row, stick them down, so I don't overdo it and run out or have too many and waste material. Once I've got all that done, then what I can do is start cutting the slightly different sizes that I need for the other walls. Some of them are wider, 5 centimeters, some of them are narrower. So yeah, so there we are. As you can see, sharp knife and a good straight edge will solve a lot of problems. I do have all of the hot wire cutters and everything that I could use, but like I've said, I'm sticking with simple techniques that don't need special tools right now. So yeah, so let's get this marked and cut, and for this I'll be able to use my ruler, my proper safety ruler. So we'll do that 3 centimeters. Get the safety ruler in, slice that down. You know what, it's 30 centimeters exactly, so actually I'm going to do that 3.5, because then I know I can get 10 blocks at 3 centimeters. That'd be a much smarter idea, wouldn't it? You see. So I'll put that to 3.5, 35mm. And then I'll be able to take that and slice it down. Now this would be much easier with the hot wire cutter, because I could just put the cutting guide to 35mm and then just push this through, slice, get them all exact. But again, sharp blade and a safety ruler and cutting blue foam is as simple as that. Now this is the bit where I really wish I was allowed to use the hot wire cutter, because cutting these up into 30mm blocks is going to be a bit tedious. But I'll get this done, and once it's done I'll bring it back and show you me sticking them in place, and then we will then I'll just carry on and do lots and lots of these and what have you. So I'll bring you back in a minute when I've done this. Okay. Okay, so I've cut I've cut 2 strips, so 20 blocks. Ooh, just get myself down here. I'm working on the floor because I want to keep this weighted and I don't want it to take up my workbench for the whole time. So what we're going to do, I'm going to glue this down using Moment Fix Power. I used to use Extreme, but they didn't sell it, stop selling it. The reason for that is it's going to hold it in place better than PVA. So what we're going to do is just put a little dab in the centre and go along both, up and down. And as you can see, it's not going to take very long. It's just a little bit tedious. You still get some working time with this, which is good. Put a little bit too much on that one. But you can see that that meets up nicely with the doorway here, so that's good. These are 3.5 centimeters long. This way it's 3, and you can see that it ties up very nicely with the walls. And anywhere where I'm going to need to do a cut one down, I'm just going to leave it for now, because that isn't the purpose of what I'm doing today or right now. I want to get all the whole ones in. I'm umming and ahhing as to whether I do 2 layers. If I do 2 layers, it'll be quite nice and easy just to layer them up like that. I might do 2, but for now I'm just going to get to 1 layer all the way around, get that all done, and that will also help me to understand exactly how much I need and how many I'd need to cut. So the important thing is that it lines up on the outside, because obviously that's how this is going to be, or the building on top is going to be held in place. So yeah, so I'll do this, cut some more, stick some more, just do it steadily, little by little, and once I've got all of it done, I'll bring you back and show you what it looks like. And that will probably involve some different sizes, but I'll try to remember to make notes of what sizes I'm doing. I'm not going to record lots and lots and lots of this. There's going to be a little gap on there. I'm not going to record the whole process because it's going to be very repetitive. But at the end of the next clip of this probably will be all of these little blue blocks will be in all the way around, and we'll be looking at doing the next step. Very exciting to see this come together. This is a totally new style of building for me, so I'm really hoping that it works out and looks good. There we are, that's the last block down that I've cut. So I'll go cut some more, stick some more down, cut some more, stick some more down, bring you back when I've got something to show you. Unfortunately, doing this with me today, lost out to putting a Christmas tree up. So I'm on my own now. Just going to get this finished off, so it needs to be done. So what we're going to do is we're going to screw on, oops, going to knock it as well because I'm clumsy because the camera's going. I'm going to put these in the centre and screw in each of these wheels to the bottom of the feet, and then that means that tomorrow this can be taken upstairs. Yeah, this can be taken upstairs and we can transfer the layout to it, which is very exciting for me indeed. So I'll not film all of it because it's just this, but that's what I'm going to be doing. 4 screws in each, 6 wheels to put on, and I'll turn it over and we'll have a look at how well it wheels, because while it doesn't need to be wheeled around much, I do hope it wheels okay. It's only really wants to be moved for getting to the window and cleaning underneath and that sort of thing. It's not going to be moved around often. So there's the first one. I will bring you back when I've completed this, show you what it looks like on its wheels. Well then, that's done, and it moves around really easily. I'm very pleased with that. So tomorrow we'll get that lifted up and we'll look at transferring the layout to the top of it. Now I'm aware that I may be looking at doing some outriggers, so that might delay slightly because I might do that before I take it up. So just build a little kind of square to go off the corner here, just because it's more of a kidney shape than a square. But that is perfect. Solid enough, easy enough for me to stop these. They go down really nice and easily. Even my bare foot, just one toe puts them down, and then when they're down it doesn't move. Let's see. First time I've tried this. Try this on camera. Yeah, that's nice and stable. Good, there we are, done. So whatever the next step is, whether it's going to be the little outriggers or not, I'll bring you along for the next step shortly. And I really hope that Rosie will be able to be involved in that. If so, can't blame her for wanting to do the tree today. It was fun. But yeah, I'll bring you back for the next step shortly. Excellent. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start to put some of this material on as like creepers and what have you growing up from the ground. Now this is actually a tool that people use over here, probably everywhere to be honest, for smoothing plaster. So it's like the scrubbing brushes you get for your kitchen, but much stronger. And I really like it for this. So what we'll do is we'll tear a shape out. I have some PVA glue on a plate just down here. I'll drop it into my PVA, work out where I'm going to put it, and then slap it on. And once that's dried, I can come over with another layer of PVA and just seal it on. So I'm going to do that for a little while, just try and get some interest into this. There we are. If you're not happy with the shape, you can obviously come along and snip it as well with scissors. Now pull the plate in the shot, so that goes there. Press that down, get that nicely with PVA on it. And then we're going to do one in the middle between these. So there we are. I'll get that done and I'll bring you back for the next step, which will be some more tufts and what have you, some more height to this. And then I think we're pretty much done once I've finished this, which is really exciting. Actually, no, I'm not. There's one other thing I'm going to do. So I'm going to do that now, actually. So give me a second. I just remembered I want to do the entrance a bit better. So let me get the other glue. We'll do that, and then I'll carry on doing this. Okay, so my plan for here, give that a shake, is to make use of slightly larger stones. So this is literally just the size up. So we're going to put some PVA on here, as we've done before. I just want to make it look a little bit more established, a little bit more solid. So this is some slightly larger stones than I used when I was doing the gravel or the sand. And what we're going to do, I've got a spoon in this one, is just drop that on, shake it off, and it's just a slightly more stony road than it was before. Right, now I'm going to carry on with this stuff. I'll bring you back when I get to the next step. Okay, right, so we're about to try and move this. Hopefully it doesn't all fall apart.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Up. Dobre. I dalo.
Op.
Така. Малко.
Това дърво имам, бро.
Малко така и по-добре. На.
Не.
Може.
Оп.
Окей.
Сега?
Окей.
Там? Колко може виждаш?
Да, разбирам, да. Това.
Да. Може. По-добре вънка. Сега? Може ли?
Може вижда. Колко близо?
Малко. 2 мм.
Окей, може пак?
Там, да. После аз може да...
И малко реже?
Да.
2 мм?
Да.
Аз мисля, аз точно. 2 мм не добре. Чакай момент, аз... Окей, долу. Добре. Малко реже?
Да.
Okay. So I'm going to trim just a couple of millimetre off this joining block because it just didn't fit in. That's what all that chattering and what's it was. I might want to get a better saw. Друга machine?
Да.
Аз мисля, да.
По-добре, това.
Да.
Това малко, Андре.
Да, okay. But yeah, we'll get that trimmed and then we'll try again. See, that's more like it. Get the right tool for the job. I better go and hold the top. Let's try again. Okay. Może точно.
Там можеш. Още. Искаш ли? Там добре ли?
Там добре?
Окей.
Може малко така?
Да.
I Marco taka. Taka, dobry. Może wyjść there? Okay, ośle Marco. Ośle Marco. Trwa dobry, da. Ośle Marco, Marco. Dobry. Okay, toczno. Oh, so it's so dirty underneath here. So yeah, let's get it hoovered. Alright, that's done. So next up, we'll put the I'll push this into place. Right then, let's see how well this pushes. Oh, it pushes really nicely. There we are. And there it is, in place. All I need to do now is lock down these wheels so they can't move. Yeah, and then we're done for now. So that'll conclude this part. Actually, no, it won't. I still need to screw or attach. I still need to attach. Well, that's actually a bit short. Just touching the floor. Not touching the floor at all, that one. So that's not actually giving any weight. Might need to shim that a little bit. It was a little bit high. So yeah, so I'm. Oh, and I've got a little bit of damage here, maybe. Or maybe not. No, I think that actually came in. Now that's part of the artifact of building it, which I've never seen before because I've not been above it. Isn't that funny? So yeah, so the next thing will be to attach, actually physically attach it to the top, and then we'll get on to finishing off here. I'm going to decide whether I'm going to rewire it to give it a good clean. Another thing I'm going to do, different video, we'll be putting a backdrop on over here, so we'll have a backdrop. But yeah, really pleased. That's so much better. Rosie's going to love that. So all of the walls are stuck in. Pretty pleased with that, and I have just checked it before with the actual building on top. And what I've now got to do, as I'd say here, mnogo igraszki, lots of playing, lots of fiddliness. I'm going to be taking these and cutting them down to size. So the simple way of doing that is put them in place, use the knife to enable you to cut to bend it, and then obviously I won't be doing this on the floor when I'm working on it properly, but right now just while I'm filming and cut that, and then I'll be able to stick that in place. So I'm going to have to do that all the way around here, all the way around here, up here, around here, at the top there, down here, here. Yeah, I've got quite a bit of playing around to do to get this done. Oh, and I actually just noticed I missed one bit. I'll get that filled as well. Well, yeah, I'm not sure whether I'm going to do 2 layers. I'm still thinking. So while I'm thinking about that is why I'm doing this cardboard bit next. So I'll get that finished, and yeah, then I'll show you what it looks like when that's all done. And I have got an idea of how I'm going to do the grouting. No idea if it's going to work, but hey, we're going to give it a go. Oh, I've got to do all around here as well. That makes me think what I might do is, before I do around here, I am going to stick this in place. So this is always going to be in place, I think, and the building will slot down over the top of it, which will help hold the building on as well. So I might actually work on how I'm going to clad the Pringles tin before I glue it in place and then do the tiles around it. So anyway, I'm gonna work on these little bits of cardboard now. It shouldn't take too long. It is a bit annoying. It's a bit of an annoying task, but just boring more than anything. So yeah, at least I've got a couple of nice easy jobs, or nice obvious jobs to do before I get into the next thinking part. The next step on this is to cut and affix the walls, the cladding on the outside. Now, I took a photograph and shared it with the awesome people in TCU about what I've done on the base, and we've decided, everyone's agreed that one level is enough, so that's cool. So yeah, so that's 1 centimetre. So this is just less than 12 centimetres. So I'm going to cut a number of strips of my cladding material, which I have just over here now, at just under 13 centimetres. So I'm going to get that set up. I'll show you how I cut it, but it's the same as before. This is bobbly stuff, so you do need to be careful, don't go too mad. And what I'll then do is I'll stick that on the sides, and then I will be able to cut out the doors from the inside. I'll double check that I can do that. But in some places, just adjust things a little bit so that you can see. So for example, these little cutouts here, I'm actually going to cover them over, and they're not going to be visible. And there's another one on this side here, which I'm just going to go straight down and make that into a doorway. And I'm also going to be cladding some of the inside, I think, but I'm not sure at the moment. I'm not necessarily doing this, but I might do. But at the very least, I'm going to be sealing up, like for example that bit there, and I'll put a little bit of cover over here so that it's all. I might leave it just with the cladding. I'm not sure. It doesn't really matter. But yeah, that's the plan. So yeah, just under 13 centimeters is what I need. Gonna get a load of strips cut. I'll show you how I do that, and then get on with it. Right, so I've got my square. So we're going to put a mark there, and a mark here. So let's just make sure. Yep. And then grab my straight edge, which is just wide enough, and get that cut. Now, one thing I do need to decide right now is whether I'm going to keep that rim on at all around the base, and I am thinking that I'm going to. So this is going to limit how much I can get out of each sheet, so I'm not just going to be able to go up and up and up. I'll be cutting one here, and then cutting one here, and leaving the square in the middle. That square in the middle will get used, don't worry. I won't be creating any more waste, hopefully. But that will mean that I can have this as a nice kind of like base at the bottom, a little bit more, a little bit thicker as well, where this material is going to be hanging over the bottom of this frame. My microphone died during the previous take, so I'll have kept some of it, but not all of it. So I can show you that the cutting worked well, but I need a new blade, and this is the perfect length. So I've just broken off that there, and hopefully, actually it looks like it's actually snapped the whole blade. That's not very good. It didn't snap along its line. Not sure why that happened, but yeah. So I've just made it so that hopefully I've got a new sharper edge. So when I do my next cutting, that will be a bit cleaner. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to cut along here. So I'm going to cut along here and then take those, and that will give me the as much end as I can on this. I also have slightly damaged, but this is the offcut as well that I've started with, so I'll be able to take that off there as well. So it's got a little bit of damage there, but that's not the end of the world. And once I've got everything that I need to be for cladding, I'll bring you back and show you how I'm going to do the attaching. Well, I've cut enough now, and I thought just on the last one I'd show the demonstration that using the correct tools as opposed to just limiting yourselves to simple tools makes. So here is a very sharp knife, and just how bobbly is that end, and here is kind of with the procs on. I mean, it's just, yeah, but it's obvious. I mean, that's why you use good tools. But I'm trying to show that you can do a good result without having to spend lots of money. So I just did that as a demonstration. I'm going to continue using the knife for the rest of this, But yeah, there's a little bit of a demo. So I have now got sufficient quantity of this to go around the outside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off the edges. So these here will be coming off, I believe, in the base, and as I've said, and then I'll work out where how they're going to be glued on, and I'll bring you along when I get to that. Right then, so it's going to be a short one and a long one on either side here, and then I might have to cut some more for that end. But I'm not sure. I might have to cut one more actually, thinking about it. I might have jumped the gun. However, that's not a problem because I know my measurements, so I don't need to stop this. And it is going to be a slightly staged process because I don't have enough clamps. Can you believe it? Anyway, so what we're going to do is I'm going to use my grabby glue again for this. This is going to be perfect. I'm actually going to put the grabby glue on the building, and the reason for that is because of the doorway. I need to go around the doorway because I am eventually going to cut through there, obviously, to allow access. So we will run a bead all the way along like this. Now I'm not going right up to the edge because when I press the sheet on, it will squidge it towards the edge. And then we'll just do a little wave pattern in the middle, and that should then be enough. Like that. There we are. Good. So then I'm going to run this one flush with the edge there. So we'll press that in. And then it's going to be 4 clamps. So I've got this one which is deep, which is going to be able to press in nearer the bottom. Excuse me. And actually what I need to do, I've done this before and made the mistake, I need to get an offcut and put an offcut in front, otherwise it will end up with with the impression, which I do not want. So let's do that. I do not want to have a circular impression on my nice textured walls. So that's going to be perfect. And then for the top, I will do this to hold it in place. And I'm going to do this same thing for the other side, for the other indent. And this is why I only have 4 of these size clamps, which is what's limiting me here. Yeah. And then another of the smaller ones. Got loads of those. Hold at the top. And then what I'll do, I shouldn't have overlapped that. I should have put this in place first. Can I slip it in? No, right. I'm gonna have to undo this at the very least, so I can get this one in. There we are. Get that nicely butted up, pressed into place. Now I can put my clamp back. You see, it's not always straightforward. Even with years of experience I've got now, I make stupid mistakes. There we are. So that's in. Press that along, and then I'll get another bit of offcut, and we'll clamp this side also. And then we'll leave it for not very long actually. It does grab quite quickly, that stuff, but we'll leave it for a short while to hold. And once that's done, what I'll do is I'll trim this end down and then slap the ends on. Well, I might actually do the other side, and I might slap the ends on so the ends are the ones that overlap. So yeah, I'll bring you back when this is dried and when I've done the other side, and we'll look at how we're going to do that overlapping technique. But yeah, nice to be making some good progress on this. Yeah, so Rosie is seeing this properly for the first time, because you've ever seen it like when I've been holding you up, haven't you? And now, careful, don't lean into it too much. I told you it's not fully secure. But so now Rosie can really see and enjoy her model railway. And she's been going, yeah, kites and cows, the things you've never seen before that we put on here. And now you can see it very, very delicately, very gently. Remember the bop? That's it. Remember the bop technique. Good girl. You like it, love? You happy? Yeah, I'm really pleased. So there we are, we're in place. Don't remember not to lean on it, darling. Yeah, you can tap. Remember the bop technique though. Little bop. So yeah, all I need to do is get it secured actually to the base properly so that she can lean on it when she wants to. Build the little outriggers down here to make that a little bit more secure, which you couldn't really see. Let me see if I get that. So I need to build an outrigger under here to support this overlap. Rosie's very excited. And then that'll wrap up this part of the build. So how about that? You happy, Roo? The cars are over here. They're going to go back on the track, but not just yet. They need cleaning. They need cleaning. So yeah, these are all the units that it used to be. You're going to put that on, okay. You like it, Roo? Good. Say bye-bye. Brum, 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 brum. Got the little three-wheeler. There we are. Right, so these two side pieces are done. What I'm now doing is trimming them down, and as you can see, get the knife out to its fullest extension, and as per usual, very gently with lots of slices, draw the knife across. Let's see if I can get that back into shot. There we are. Draw the knife across and you'll cut with much less bubble. There we are. Perfect. So that's both sides cut off. So what I'm now going to do is stick that on. And it turns out I don't need to cut anymore. So that's good. So we'll stick that on in the same way. Grab your glue and let it dry. And then I'll have a little bit at the top to trim, and then we'll start to cut the doors out. So I'll get that done. I'll probably be tomorrow that I'll get back to that. I'll get that finished and do the doors. So yeah, I'll get that glued on and then film again when we come to the doors. Excellent, this is going really well. The next one to paint of all of these awesome Wargame Foundry's miniatures is OW075, which is High Times at Rendezvous. So what I'm going to do now is stick them in the wash, so scrub them in hot soapy water, and then I'll clean up any sprue bits, stick them to a base and then prime them. So I'll get that done and then we'll get them down and painting them. I'm really loving painting these. They're going very, very well. So yeah, I'll show you what they look like when they're done, when they're ready to be painted even. It's time to start an epic project. So here we have 10 packets of raiders, so that's 20 camels. We have 2 packets of warriors, so that's enough to do the dismounts for the raiders. And I've got 2 kings and 2 mahouds, to convert into 2 captains. I'm very excited. I bought these quite a long time ago. My plan is to take all camels to Ardacon. And I already have loads and loads of camels. This is absolutely ridiculous. I bought these on made to order because they went out of stock and I was gutted because I just didn't have enough to do a 700 point army. So I bought loads. Of course, Ardacon now is 650 points, so it's slightly less important, but I don't care. I want to get this done, so I'm going to do it. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to do these in batches. I'm probably not going to do them all at once. I think probably what I'm going to do is 10 camels with dismounts, 10 camels with dismounts, so that'll work, and then I will reward myself after each of the 10 camels with dismounts with a conversion. So I'm just starting a new channel and it's called An Average Painter. What I will be doing on that channel is putting all of my painting videos. So I have been putting them onto this channel, to Beard Clipper, but I'm going to move them all over there. These are the videos which show the entire painting process. So I I play music and I paint every miniature, and I'm going to do that for these as well. So go and subscribe to that. There will be some videos put on there probably by the time the vlog with this on goes live, because I've created the channel and I've got videos. I just need to edit and export, and these I'll be painting along. So the painting part will not come onto the onto this channel, onto Beard Clipper. It will go on to an average painter. Look at how dusty they are. I've been sat on my bench for so long. So yeah, so that will go on to average painter. But what I will do is I'll bring you along on this channel just a little bit with how I clean them up and all those processes as well. So yeah, let's get to it. I'm rather excited by this. Right, then the first thing is to have a quick look at what you get in the pack. So we've got 2 bases. We've got 2 camels. One with a flag, one with the skulls, which is nice. We've got the spikes that go on the side. One double, one not, which is also nice. And then we've got the legs. Just make sure we've got everything we need. I bought these so long ago that if I'm missing anything, I'm going to be a... Well, actually, they're pretty good at sending stuff, even if it's been ages. Right, so what have we got here? That's tangled because there's always lots and lots of bits of flash on these. So there we have a blowpipe, there we have a spear, there we have a leg and a leg. So we've got 2 legs, a spear and a blowpipe, which is a shame because I normally like all blowpipe. So maybe I'll just have, I normally just say they're all blowpipe. So yeah, that's what you get. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put those into a hot bath with hot soapy water, give them a good scrub with a toothbrush and let them dry, and then I'll sit, probably watch some TV or a YouTube video and take off all these little bits of sprue. It's really important to get it cleaned up so that you get a really nice finish. But yeah, I'll get that done. So I'll probably wash all of these raiders. Let's have a quick look at what's in the warriors as well. So let's move those out of the way and open up a warriors, the warriors box. So the warriors box has a bunch more bases, and it looks like that needs to be straightened carefully. Yeah, it looks like it's got that's an odd one. I don't recognise that. Yeah, I haven't got one of any of those, I don't think. See, it's got spears and it's got oh, that's nice. I haven't had one of those. I don't think I've ever had a model like that before in any. That's a new sculpt that I've not seen, I don't think. Got a couple of them. Awesome. So yeah, we've got a whole load, including Rosie's just come to see me. Got a whole load, some shields, some big shields. Yeah. Right, that was a bit of a kind of randomly exploring, because yeah, some ones I've not seen before. So just count how many I've got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Right, so these must be captains. I don't think I've ever seen those before. So that's interesting. So I've got 2 captains in each box, and I bought Mindwork Mahoods, as you'll have seen in the previous clip on the vlog, to do a conversion with the Mahood King. Actually, that's near enough a Mahood King. This is very interesting. I'm going to stop muttering, and we will see. We'll come to what we're going to do. But it could be that this here, which I think is a captain, which I seem to have 2 of, could end up being my dismounts, and then the other 2 that I've got in the other pack could end up being converted to go on to as a captain. So yeah, let's see how that goes. Anyway, that's interesting. Right, enough rambling. Let's get these washed up. That is a lot of camel These ones at the top are some of the other ones I'm painting. They're not the camels. And also my muttering and chattering and whatever, I'm pretty sure that I've got 12 of each, and I want 12 in a warband, so I think I'll just paint them all as warriors, and I'll do my conversions as I was originally planning. So yeah, we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 camels and 12, so maybe not, maybe I'm wrong, and 2, 4, I don't know, I'm getting confused here. Again, 2, 4, 6, 8, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and then the 2. So yeah, maybe I will, I don't know, we'll find out. But I've only got 10 camels, I thought I'd have 12. But obviously 2 times 5 is 10, isn't it? So I'm just being an idiot. But anyway, these have all been washed. These are all now dry, and then I will come along and snip off all the sprue, all the extra bits you can see, like this, which you don't want. And once that's all cleaned up, then we'll assemble them, prime them, paint them, and I'll bring you along and show you how it goes as it's going. I'm going to make a start on this Agatha's Stone Moon Tavern from Tabletop Scenics. I've had a lot of fun building, well, I did have fun building that tower. It just went through a period of me not liking it, but I'm not going to make that mistake this time. We're going to do this absolutely perfectly, I promise. So yeah, take it out of the single-use plastic. As always, the instructions are not here. You have to go online to find the instructions. So I'll go and do that. And as always with this, I will just show any problem points or any confusion points. But most of what I'll be filming is going to be around making it awesome. And look at that. You know, I'm going to have a lot of fun painting up that floor. So yeah, let's see how this will turn out. Well, that's worked absolutely perfectly, apart from I did a mistake. That was supposed to be 1 centimetre, and as you can see, or maybe you can't, but I can tell you it's 2.5, just over 2 centimetres. So what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to trim 1 centimetre off all the way around to get this to work. Now, what that will mean as a slight benefit is I will take what I cut off and then I will glue it onto the outside, and that will act as a bit of a stabilisation for this and make it a little bit less likely to get damaged. I'm not going to film this because it's going to be a bit fiddly. I will have to basically balance to get this to be done correctly, I'm going to have to measure and then balance my ruler on top and cut along however much of it I need to cut off. So it's going to be a bit of a faff, so I'll just do that off camera, but I'll show you what it looks like when it's done, and as I say, I'll then be able to glue that on top, and that should give a little bit more structural support to this overhang. Well, that turned out to be really, really easy, which is good. So what I'm going to do now, as I say, I've got these little strips that I've cut off the bottom, and I'm going to glue them along like this, so they will act to kind of strengthen that a little bit. And I will be using the grabby glue, as I like to call it, because that's just the best thing for this. So I'll put a small bead of grabby glue on the back, and this I'll be able to use my small clamps to hold it in place, which is good. Now there will be extra stuff being added which will also help with keeping this on, so like grout mixture or whatever that I'll be painting on over the top. But still I am going to put a good amount of glue on this so that it will hold nicely and won't get damaged, because it's very flimsy, this. I'm also running out of glue in that tube. Fortunately I do have more. So yeah, so we will glue that in place like that. I don't actually need to have any clamps because it grabs so nicely. So press that down, and then, being frugal, I will run my finger along, take anything that's pushed out, and I get a little bit on the end there. Right, I'll glue all of these on and then bring you back for the next step once that's all dried, which will be looking at the top of this. I put in the roof on over there, but once again that's going to start to run up against the fact that I need to do the tower first, so it looks like it has to be the tower I do next. I've made a bit of progress. I've assembled the first half. This is the base, the first parts. And then what I've done is I've pulled out all of the pieces that are going to be the walls for the top, for the ground floor and the first floor. And that's what these are. So before I do any painting of these, what I'm going to do is I'm going to seal them with PVA. So I've just got my watered down PVA that I use for my terrain glue. And painting this on will just mean you don't use as much paint when you do come to do the painting. That's not too many uses of the word paint. It will mean that that your paint doesn't just soak straight into the PVA, but actually colours it. So yeah, I'm going to do that first, and then I'm going to start painting. Now, the name of this building, Agatha's Stone Moon Cavern, really inspires me with some colours, some moon, some nighttime moon, maybe some blues and some silvers. That's what I'm thinking about. So that's what I'm going to do. Obviously these ones I'm going to do this on both sides, but for now just paint the inside, because I am going to paint inside and outside and do all my nice fancification of this. So yeah, so I'll just get this all painted up with the PVA, let that dry, and then once everything is sealed, then I will start painting these pieces separately, because that's the easiest way to do it. Some people like to paint on the sprue. I don't, because I like to do some test fitting and what have you. So that's why I take everything off the sprue. It doesn't make it too much harder to paint, but it does mean that you're able to prove that you've definitely got the right parts. Now, I have actually done a little bit more assembly. The roof has been put together, so I can start to, I'll probably paint this as well, paint this brown or something, just so it's got like a wood colour. The instructions are not very clear, but I've put this kind of like section as the middle one, so it's visible up through the gap. Not sure whether that was right or not, but it's what I did. Right, I'm going to keep on doing the priming of the wood, and I'll bring you back when I'm coming to do the painting. I'm really inspired by colours, as I said. Well, hey, the Christmas train is running again past the new little display at the front here. Very cool. So that'll be there for when Rosie gets home from school. That's a good idea, darling. Oh, it's very dark.
Oh, it's already on.
Oh, in you go. How did that happen? What's that? What's that, Roo?
Elf.
It's an elf.
Elf.
Oh my goodness.
And what's on the floor?
There's a present.
You can have a look at it. That's awesome. Look, he's in a hot air balloon, darling. Is that cool?
Do you want to see what he brought you?
Uh-huh.
Go and have a look.
Toy.
Mummy help you.
That elf is so funny. Cheeky elf.
Cheeky elf.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, that's what I held.
Wait for it. Mummy's got it tied into a knot that won't untie now. There we are.
There's two.
There's two. Does that mean one for you?
One for you, me.
Oh, wow. What is it, Roo?
An alligator.
An alligator? No.
No, the other words.
Advent calendar.
Oh, wait. A calendar.
2 advent calendars.
One for you, one for me. What does that one say?
It says Lint Advent Calendar.
That's very cool.
Can I have one?
Yeah, one of them's for you, one of them's for me. But what else is there? Let's have another look at the elf. Come on. He's holding a bit of paper.
Holding a bit of paper. It's a map.
Thelma, it isn't for you, pup.
It's a letter.
How does
It says, Merry Christmas. Thank you for taking the time to take our named Scout Elf. Here in the North Pole, your elf Pickle
She's called
No.
Pickle.
loves being part of your family. In fact, Mrs. Claus had a huge smile on her face when she put Pickle's name on the big elf registry book that she keeps. I'm looking for...
Just like in that movie.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm
Mrs. Nichols.
Pickle is your elf. I'm looking forward to hearing all about the rest of your family every evening during the holiday season when Pickle comes to see me. Be careful to be on your best behaviour. That way I'll be sure to get lots of good reports. Don't forget that every morning your North Pole Scout elf Pickle will be hiding in a new place.
Every day you're going to have to try and find her.
It's like a hide and seek. Have fun looking for your special friend, and remember Pickle is doing a very special job for me. I'm so glad that you and your family have decided to join us in this holiday fun by adopting one of my best helpers. I look forward to visiting you on Christmas Eve. Santa Claus.
It's a letter from Santa Claus, Roo.
And what's this?
Oh, another one.
Certificate of adoption. This is to certify that the Cox family has adopted an elf on the shelf. Scout elf pal called Pickle on the 1st of December 2023.
Is that cool?
No.
That's today. So there we are.
What Pickle is going to get up to tomorrow.
I'd like to see what's up there.
Daddy
Oh,
will be
Right,
what's up in the owl room?
I'll lift you up in a second, Roo. Good girl.
So once again, I had mic problems here. I need to get that sorted. What I'm saying is I'm going to be painting the tiles outside the building using the 2 colours, the dark blue that you can see here, which is just a house paint, and a white chocolate house paint as well. These are not hobby paints at all. I will not be painting inside the house because I'm going to paint that white, and I'm going to stick the moon in the middle of the floor in there. So after that I'll be doing a lot of varnishing to make them shiny and also to protect it. But that's roughly what I'm saying during this clip, and sorry again for the problem with the microphone.
Well, there we are, the blue's done. Showing up a bit darker on the camera than it is in real life, but I think it looks really nice and it will look really well with a slight cream going on in between. And I have now decided what I'm going to do in the middle. Here is the moon logo from Moonstone. I've just cut it out very roughly just to check the size, and that's going to go perfectly dead in the centre of the room. And what I'm then going to do is I'm going to paint the whole of the rest of the room white. So it'll be white with this in the middle. So I'm going to very carefully cut out around that, make sure I can get that accurately. Paint all the tiles white in here, stick that in the middle, and then I'll put the varnish over, and that will look absolutely great. Now I might need to do spray varnish on this rather than the paint on that I have been using, otherwise I might spoil this paper, but I'm not sure. I'll have a play around with it. But now what I'm going to do while that's drying, I'm going to cut this out and then paint that white, paint these cream. I'll get this put in the middle and then I'll bring you back. But yeah, that's going to look beautiful. And what I might end up doing is printing out more of these motifs and having them in between each window. So I might do that. Oh, dropped it. Might do that, and that I think will look really good, and paint all the walls interior white. So yeah, I'll get the rest of this painted and that glued in, and then I'll decide what I'm going to do with the walls, and maybe get those painted, and then I'll bring you back. Oh, well, this is a technique which I tried before and it didn't work all that well on the Wizard's Tower, but I'm going to try it again because I can see if I've learned something from the mistakes I made before. So what we're going to do is going to take, actually a bit smaller than that, of air dry clay, and roll it out nice and thin, and that's the key, that it cannot be too thick. So just roll it out nice and thin, and this will be a relatively slow process, so I will just do a little bit at a time, That's the benefit of doing it like this. So we've got nice and thin, and then grab yourself a tool to cut with. I will just reach one now. So that didn't have the hand, so here we have a tool to cut with, and what we'll do is just want it to be relatively even. Don't mind if the sizes aren't quite the same, but we'll use a ruler to slice this up. So we'll get that done. And there we are. So it only took a couple of minutes, but I've only done a few. And then what we'll do is we'll put some PVA glue onto our tube, brush that on, and then we will be able to stick these bricks onto our tunnel, onto our tower. Now I am going to start at the top because I've just realised that I need to do my doorway to get this working absolutely right. But I'm going to leave that little rim up there which the lid clips around for a reason that you'll see later. But yeah, so we take this, we get our brick, then we stick it on. And as I say every time I use air dry clay, you do need the PVA, because if you don't, clay is not sticky, it will not adhere, and so if you don't use the PVA glue, then the clay will just fall off once it dries. So this is quite hard to film and quite fiddly and annoying, so I'm just going to carry on and get this done. Once it's finished I'll show you what it looks like, and when I start to come to do the doorway, the gate at the bottom, then I'll also bring you along for that. But for the now I'm just going to sit here and struggle with tiny bits of air dry clay and putting it in, so it's just going to take a while. It should look good when it's done, and this is working on learnings from my previous project, like I said. So yeah, I'll show you what it looks like at some other time in the future. For now, let's hope this works. Well, that's how much I did, mainly because it was sliding around a bit and I wasn't totally sure it was going to work, so I stopped. But that's worked quite nicely. Now I've put a little clamp on here, mainly so that it stays still. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to repeat the process. Now I'm happy, but do it just down this little strip here and do it right the way down to the bottom if I can. And then I will be able to keep turning it around, let that dry completely, keep turning it around and work in stripes down, because the glue is a bit slippy when it's not stuck, and the air dry clay is slippy, and so it was just sliding off down the sides, which is what this is too much. that one in particular kept on trying to escape. So yeah, but at least that's working, and then when I paint that I think that's going to be fine. So yeah, we're going to crack on with that now. We had a couple of deliveries today, which is really cool. First of all, another Mindwork minis. The model is Metal by Jodie Muir, which is really, really cool. I managed to get number 2 of 1,000, and they also included something which I'm going to frame, this awesome postcard, which is a Frank Frazetta picture, which is just brilliant. I just love it. What a great picture that is. So yeah, so that will go onto the shelf. That's what it looks like when it's done. Now we'll go onto the shelf and we'll be painted up at some point. But yeah, I just had to grab it. I shouldn't have done, couldn't afford it, but didn't care, so I bought it anyway. So that will go on the shelf. And as you can see, I've got that painted, and I was just mocking up the walls again just to confirm what it looked like. You can also see that the moon is going to fit in there beautifully, but I'm not stuck it down yet, because what I'm going to do first is, making use of this blue, I'm just going to come along and as carefully as possible dot in these little diamonds like that, just to add a little bit of an accent. And I might come along with a pen and line in the lines as well between the each tile, just to make it look a little bit more realistic, because it's a bit washed out at the moment. And then once I've done that, then I will be able to stick down my moon. So I'll just do that to do those dots. Some of these will be underneath the moon, so it doesn't matter too much. Now we've also got the same idea out here. I'm going to do those with silver, so I'll take that down to the painting bench where I've got my actual hobby paints, as opposed to these which are just house paints. I don't have a silver house paint, and I will dot in the middles there. So that's what I'll do. I'll do that then. Do that downstairs. But yeah, coming on really nicely. I haven't yet painted the insides of these. I'm going to. I'll do them white, and I'll do the door probably brown, but I might do it a different colour. I might do a ready colour, ready brown, rather than the dark brown I have been using for the others. And then we'll have to do the exterior, which is going to look really nice. So I'm going to do those with a brick red, which I have now, because I managed to get another copy. Thanks, another bottle. Thanks, Angela. And then we're going to have to think about what we're going to do here. So I think I'm going to do a lighter blue and the same kind of creamy white that I've got here. So I'll bring you back when I've done the next steps, which will be, as I say, silver in here and white on the back of here, and then potentially I'm going to paint the outside of this once it's actually up, because then, if you have a look, I'll then be able to paint the join bits and it will look a little bit nicer. But everything's primed, so I can paint what I wish, and I will also get this paint, and that's probably when I'll bring you back next and show you what it looks like when I'm starting to actually glue things together, because at that point the moon will be going down and these will be going on, and then I'll have to look at the actual wooden frames, which are what goes along out here. Pretty cool. I'm really liking, really enjoying this model. It's really nice to put together, really simple, much simpler than the other one. That tower was a nightmare, and it's just what I need, really. Right, here we are, camouflaged in my very, very messy cutting mat is Gump, and I have filled in his base with the milliput and also pressed him into it, so there's some little footprints. So I'll just wait for that to go off, and then what I'll do is I'll paint it and probably put some texture on it. I might use some of Luke's fast basing, so I think that's going to work really well for this. So I might use some fast basing actually, but I'm going to put a couple of other little bits and pieces on before I do the basing, so I'll bring you along, show you what it looks like. But yeah, a little bit of progress. I should get that done in the next day or so. Well, this has worked pretty well. I did lose the footage, unfortunately. This section here was loose, so I used some liquid super glue, and it is now really solid. Just checking to see how the others are. Everything else is stuck really nicely with the PVA, but just that one didn't stick very well, unfortunately, but a little bit of super glue sorted out. So now we're getting close to the last steps for this, so I will gather my materials together and I'll bring you back and show you what the final finishing steps are going to be. Well then, what a busy week. I actually recorded the intro thinking, well, I've not actually done that much this week. I don't know what I'm going to talk about. Isn't that always the way? And an hour and a half later, if you're still with me, 2 thumbs up and thank you very much. An hour and a half later, I'm sat here thinking, well, yes, I did do a lot. Rosie is just over the moon with her railway. We haven't yet run it. We've had a very, very busy week, and we'll probably continue to have busy times till Christmas, but I will try and get a little bit of it running maybe before Christmas. And all the other projects that I've been involved with, I've been going well and I've been having a good week. Now, about my challenge, I forgot to say that in the intro, the Let's Finish the Year Strong challenge. We're into the final month, so if any of you are out there are doing this, let me know. Leave a comment below and do send me your pictures. I've got up to 92 out of 100 miniatures done since I started the challenge, so I'm really, really close. That's really exciting, and I know that a lot of other people, there are people out there that are doing pretty well, so well done everyone. And I will do an early New Year video summarising pictures of what everyone's achieved with whatever anyone sent me. So all the details will have been on the screen while I've been talking there, including the email address to send it to. So yeah, don't be shy, get involved. It's just a bit of fun. It's all about challenging yourself. It's not a competition, because trust me, Roto's won because he sent me about 300 pictures. So it's not a competition, it's just about having fun. Anyway, thank you ever so much for watching. I really appreciate it, particularly, as I say, if you've made it this far. That's amazing. And yeah, wonderful. I'm going to wrap the video up by saying, as I always do at the end of all of my vlogs, if any of you out there are impacted directly or indirectly by the horrific war in Israel or Ukraine, and one of my friends has actually been called up in Israel now, which is pretty horrific, and I do have personal contact with people that are directly impacted in Ukraine as well, which is why I say this at the end of my vlogs. My thoughts do go out to you and anyone you know who may be in that horrible situation. Just can't believe it's still going on. And to everyone, please do stay healthy, stay safe, and stay well.